You're not going to put that in.
Yeah. Keep it going. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. We're back with another reaction video with Subboor Ahmed. How are you, bro? Why did you change your t-shirt? It was nice.
No, that one. Yeah,
it's nice baby blue t-shirt he's wearing. We're gonna play a clip, bro. Sorry, spat on you. We're gonna play a clip. We're gonna play a clip.
Stop marking your territory.
We're gonna play.
You're Homo sapien.
We're gonna play a clip of Sadhguru talking about feminism, bro. It's a very weird combination, right?
Yeah.
Normally, brothers and sisters, let me preface this reaction video. There's a lot to be disagreed with Sadhguru. I have a few videos on my channel disagreeing with him, especially when he talks about God. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He makes a mockery of the whole concept of religion and God and all of these things. So definitely check those videos out. They're on the channel. But here is a clip of him talking about feminism. So I'm going to play it, get your thoughts on it live in channel. Sure. Yeah?
Meaning to equal opportunity for all human beings. You should not even consider their gender. Women should have rights. I don't like that. All human beings should have equal opportunity. And they should choose what they want to do. What a man wants to do, what a woman wants to do, it's the choice of an individual. See, this is the problem. When something is going wrong, people react to that and they think they can correct it by reversing everything. Reverse is not the answer. Reaction is not the answer. What you do in reaction will always lead to one kind of injustice, will lead to another kind of injustice. There are various aspects attached to this.
He went into one of his…
No, the thing is, like, he's making sense here.
Yeah, yeah.
It's strange.
Yeah.
It's very strange for
it's
someone
very odd for Sadhguru
and
to make
I don't know,
sense.
bro. Do you want me to do a live stream where I actually agree with him on something?
Well, it's fine. There will be bits you probably would disagree.
No, I need to disagree with this guy.
Well, it's coming,
He's mushrik, so…
Yeah. So far, so good, yeah?
It's attached to this, but feminism, if you're importing it from United States, most of the feminists, they didn't live well. They talked and talked and talked, and in the end their life is empty. Not because there is no man, you don't need a man, it's your choice, okay? But the problem is constantly being in a state of reaction doesn't lead to well-being of a human being. This is one species. We should not forget this. These are not two species. This is one species. The species is made in such a way that they have to… There is only possibility to exist together. There is no other way. Question is how much need you have for the opposite gender or you don't have need for it, that's up to individual choices. But fundamentally, there is no such thing as superiority or inferiority. Once again, this superiority business has come, or this male domination has happened in various societies, mainly because we made economics the most important thing. Money is the only value. Now, the go-getter in the family is the only value. Let me share this with you. My mother did not earn a rupee in her life, and she didn't care about earning a rupee.
Yeah, so you see, this is what the guy does, right? He starts off with some things which are pretty rational.
Yeah.
I don't think we should disagree with the reactionary sort of thing. However, then he goes on to make an assumption and uses that assumption to come up with some implication, like he is now, which is that the reason why men were dominant is because we made economic utility the primary goal.
Yeah.
That's not true. That's not true at all. The reason why men are dominating in a society is because they are high testosterone species,
yeah,
who genetically just have a lot more strength than women, physical strength, and also they're more competitive. And he's talking about economic utility, when for a large part of humanity it wasn't actually about economics alone. A large degree of it was to do with security, providing protection, and these types of things. So, you know, I can see, Kate, you know, Sadhguru has this, now he's gone back to his usual self, which is, let me start off with some things which kind of make sense,
yeah,
and then I'm going to try and pander to these women who's sitting there who I think have feminist tendencies, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, let me try and win them over by saying, okay, that's why men are like this. Okay, the other thing he mentioned is, what a woman wants to do, what a man wants to do, is to do with their own individual desire, or individual
choices. If you
choice.
don't need, have the need, you don't need.
Yeah, But the fact is, he's bypassing the entire discussion, which is about gender roles. He should, because he's somebody who tries to cater to both sides.
Yeah.
But he's trying to just win over these women, or it sounds like he's trying to win over these women. He has to deal with this because this is like the core issue. Is it the fact that men are supposed to provide and protect, and women are there to rear the children, and these basic patriarchal concepts which have existed for millennia?
Yes.
And there's actually good evidence that sociologically this has been the case for a very long period of time, and biologically this thing is hardwired.
Yep.
He's just bypassing that, saying people just do what they want. Well, clearly people don't just do what they want. They're doing one particular thing all throughout the world. It's universal. So you have to give an explanation for that. You can't just try and win over these women in this stupid conference called Youth and Truth, right? Unplug with Sadhguru. Unplug from truth from Sadhguru. He's definitely not young, and he's definitely not telling the truth, right? He's obviously, and this is what I don't like about the guy.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying things which are good, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now talk about the uncomfortable truths.
Yeah.
Talk about the things which are problematic. Yeah. Don't just tell young people what they want to hear. Tell them brute facts which they don't like.
Yeah.
This is the entire problem with his philosophy.
Yeah.
He's always trying to win over people and what's currently trending, when the fact is true people of spirituality, true people of God mindfulness, true people of God, they're not there to pander to the fashion of the 21st century. They're traditional people there to call people back to timeless truths, not to just swerve this way and that way. And the only thing the only thing traditional about what he's basically saying is maybe his clothing. That looks old. But when it comes to his ideas, you can just see
he's wearing a yellow top, bro.
Yeah, you could just see. Look, this is this is cool right now. So let me try and win over these women.
Not earn a rupee in her life, and she didn't care about earning a rupee. But can you think that family? Can you think of that family without her? Is it even a possibility? Rubbish. It's simply rubbish. That somebody thinks, oh, she didn't earn a rupee, so she must have been a slave, so she was a housewife, she worked all the time, nobody paid her. This is just stupid stuff, okay? Because money has become the greatest value. Right now in this town, if you say there is a big man, this doesn't mean he has a big body, we don't value them anymore. It doesn't mean he has a big brain, or a big heart, or big something else. No, he just has big pocket. So this has to change in the society. If money is the only value, male is the only value, I want you to understand this. Today, in the name of feminism, unfortunately, a whole lot of women are desperately trying to be like men.
It's sufficient there to stop there for a second, but I think one thing…
I like his mom example.
Yeah,
that's
one
very
thing we need to mention is that he's doing, like gin. They will give some people some truths, and it's mixed with a whole lot of
they'll give you
mumbo jumbo as well.
They'll give you nuggets of whatever, but then the paradigm is wrong.
And this is important to mention because there's so many young brothers and sisters. And I was on the live yesterday, we were discussing this question came up.
I was commenting on your live.
I didn't notice. I deliberately ignored you.
I said don't listen to him.
Yeah, I have probably a Subboor filter. So anything that comes from you, it just goes out. But what one of the things came up. Andrew Tate. So many Muslims are following him now. Jordan Peterson a few years ago. So many Muslims. Just because someone says some nuggets of truth or says some good things about Islam, it doesn't mean everything they say is true. But unfortunately, some young people, they just fall head over heels and go crazy. And even with Sadhguru, same thing here, bro. In the subcontinent, some young Muslims apparently have had, oh my God, Sadhguru, he's saying some things which are good. And then they fall into, oh, everything he's saying is amazing. No, well, it's not. Even in this case, we're agreeing with some of the stuff he's saying. You can see how he's mixing and blending.
See, you're absolutely correct. And this is why we have to have a very strong anchor. And then, you can learn a bit from here. You heard something from this or something from that. But really and truly, we don't even need that. We have everything. People can… All we need to do is, okay, this person said something. it makes sense.
Yeah.
But to be honest, we have it in our tradition, or a better version of it in our
Yes.
tradition. We don't need any of this
Absolutely,
nonsense. We don't
yeah.
need, okay, someone may say some wise words or whatever, but the paradigm always needs to begin off with something very simple, which is our leader, our guide, our beacon is Abu Qasim Muhammad sallallahu alaihi
Yes, sir.
wasallam. This is our leader. Everything else is we filter it out according to our leader.
Yes.
And that leader left us with a legacy. He left us with narrations. He left us with gems. You know, when you think about certain narrations of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right?
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. And then you come up, this guy comes and starts talking about ants, and I was looking at ants and look at my clothes and this and that. Just shut up. Who are you? What is this? Yeah. So the thing is, this is, people take these types of things seriously because they're missing the real product.
Yeah.
So then they just go for this low hanging rotten stuff.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, amongst this rotten fruit, if you cut it this way, you take out a bit of, this thing has some calories.
Yeah.
Well, who
Yeah,
cares?
just reach a bit higher and get the real deal, man.
Go,
Instead
yeah.
instead of going for the low hanging stuff that normally falls to the ground anyway, bro. So
Yeah.
But I think the key thing here, I think to summarize, is sure he made some very interesting points. Yeah, some things we can agree with, but then there was a lot of mixing as well with other things which are in line with his general narrative and his aim to become this super guru in the West. You can see he was struggling at points to reconcile everything for himself so he can still keep that image in the West. But from an Islamic perspective, bro, it's very simple and very beautiful, right? Men and women have their roles are defined, right? And it's when men and women come together within society and function within their roles and do what they need to do, that's when you get a flourishing society, right? And we've seen, especially today, examples of when we try to jump out of those roles and we try to do X, Y, and Z, we can see how society as a whole starts to suffer, right? So anything else you want to say from the Islamic perspective to give the brothers and sisters watching a more of a holistic understanding of how Islam deals with this?
Yeah, I mean, I think what we've covered is sufficient for now. What
Yeah.
I'd just like to add is, if anybody approaches a subject with this particular mindset, so I have this topic to talk about, feminism, skepticism, or whatever it basically is, some issue. Here is the general agreement. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mind to try and justify generally where the trends are, or what keeps people happy and this type of thing. You're always going to go wrong. And he's actually going to be a victim of his own criticism when he's saying that those things are going to essentially backfire or not work. His way of thinking is actually reactionary. What is coming out of his mouth is a reaction to the reaction of the feminists. So he's still a reactionary.
Yes.
But what do we find in Islam? What we find in Islam is we start off with the foundation. The foundation is the Quran, is the Sunnah, and that foundation is the ideal. And that's what we begin off with. Now, there may be things, right? There may be things that men and women, certain men and women today, they don't like within the Quran and Sunnah. Oh, okay, I have to provide for women, and I have to do this, and women's like, okay, so I can't do this, but a man can do this and this and that. The thing is, it is not for the believers in God to make their desire the filter to what they want to do or not do, or what they agree with or not agree with. Their filter is what is true. And one of the most powerful things, and this is something we realized in Islam, but also something like, I'm really into personal development, like Tony Robbins, Jim Rohn, all this type of stuff. One of the things you learn from these guys is you've got to learn to do what you don't like. It's not always about waiting for motivation. You just got to do things, meaning it's essentially, we can't be creatures of desire. We have to be creatures of discipline. We have to learn to actually do things which are good for us, even if we don't like them. What does Allah say in the Quran? Perhaps you don't like something, perhaps you hate something, I've forgotten the wording here, which is good for you. So the fact is, Islam teaches you those things. We have this paradigm. It's not about what society tells us is right or wrong. It's not about what our desires tells us is right or wrong. We follow the Quran and the Sunnah, and in fact, we will see that when following the truth, when following the Quran and the Sunnah, we will ourselves see the wisdom of these things. Sometimes we may not, but most of the time you end up seeing the wisdom behind these things. And the fact is, the test for us really is, are we going to try and pander to today's society like he is,
Yeah,
and trying to
subjective
win
opinions
over.
of today's
I mean,
society.
if he existed, I mean, he's clearly, you know, Hindu, more like Hindutva type of revision, not revisionist, someone revivalist or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, 100 years ago, he'd be saying to these three women something different. But now, what do we find? Oh, he's trying to pander to this new thing.
Yeah.
So come to the truth, and the truth is not going to change according to whims, desires, ideas. What is a fad? No, the truth is timeless, and it's built within the fabric of the universe, and it impacts us on a daily basis. So we shouldn't be shy of these things. And in Islam, we should be proud, we should be happy, we should feel superior from the perspective that we have something which is far greater
from Allah.
than something that's going to keep changing.
What we have is from Allah. What we have in the world today is from other people's subjective opinions, which continue to change.
Yeah.
You know, and that's his whole game, bro. To pander to what's in flavor today. You know, that's how he's made it, and with a bit of sprinkling of spirituality. You know, and that's the full game,
Well,
right?
spirituality. It's
His own version of spirituality.
His own version of spirituality.
Yeah,
Because look, you know, just to add to this, yeah, we wake up. It's cold, or we're tired, hardly slept for Fajr. We are fighting our desire, and we are praying to Allah.
Yeah.
And that is spirituality. For the sake of not your desire or society or something else, but for the sake of Allah, we are snapping out of bed, we are fighting our desires, and we're putting our head to the ground. And that is true spirituality. This, he's trying to win over these women who's one of them got distracted, as you saw. We're probably going to cut them out, yeah? Got distracted, started talking to the other. These little mere mortals trying to please them, trying to please the people in the audience for the sake of nobody. You want to call that spirituality just because you have a long beard and you're wearing some sort of guru type of clothes? That's not spirituality. You know, spirituality is far more clearer and powerful than that.
Absolutely. Brothers and sisters, let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. And share with us any clips you want us to do a reaction to, inshallah, next time. And we'll speak to you then. Assalamu alaikum.